I'm not going to be a doormat for people. And this is something that we have to balance. Like, how do we love ourselves and how do we love others? And the people that I've seen, and when I was younger, what I did is I would love others so much. I'd want them to approve of me so deeply that I would ignore my own needs. And then I would feel like a hypocrite and I would feel weak and not powerful because I would stay around their hate and I'd stay around their negativity. And I feel like, honestly, how we teach others how to love more is by showing them through our example. So we're not going to teach others how to love when we stay tolerating their abuse. We're not going to teach others how to love and how to have healthy boundaries when we stay attached codependently to people that don't show us honor. The way we're going to help assist them is by loving ourselves, rising wherever source is calling us to rise to, and trusting that whoever is really for our highest good will come into our movie. So the people that are the helpers, the clients, the friends, the family, you'll start to draw in a higher frequency of beings. And this is where we have to be really mindful that we're not attached, because maybe I had a year ago, the clients I was working with, I may not be working with any of them now, or maybe just a couple. And as a healer, what I have observed, and not even a healer, I am a healer, but as a human being, what I've observed in every way is that whoever is for your highest good to be in your movie will come in, show up with love for self and for them, and keep expanding. So if we stop thinking that, oh, I must have done something wrong because that person doesn't hang out with me anymore, or I need to attach and codependently manipulate this best friend because they're not doing what I think they should do, we will have such a better loving experience when we love ourselves and trust that whatever is for our highest good is coming to us now, and whatever is no longer necessary or no longer serving us is fading away. And we don't have to cry, and we don't have to be angry. We don't have to say hateful things because someone knows they need to go in a new direction. We don't, like as a healer, I don't have to attach my clients and guilt trip them for not coming to an event if they haven't been in a while, because I understand they are on their own journey. And they may at times feel so drawn to my energy, and they're drawn to that light. They're drawn to the truth. They want to heal. They want to come back to their own alignment. And at other times, I've had clients that are like, oh, she's intense. Like, she's not going to play my victim game. And she actually expects me to show up, and she expects me to have honor for myself. She has a lot of like high expectation of integrity here. I don't really think I'm ready for that. I'm going to go back over here, hang out with these people that, you know, maybe we get drunk and high together, and there's not as much calling to come into alignment. And that's something we need to not take personal. If you're a woman, let's say, and you have a husband that's an addict, and he keeps going around his addict friends, and he keeps choosing to listen to his woundedness, and he keeps choosing to suffer through that addiction, don't take that personal, but do love yourself and do set healthy boundaries. Because until he's ready to heal, he's showing you he's not honoring you by doing that. So if we're attached and codependent, we stay anchored to these heavy energies, and then we become angry, we become hateful, and we want to fight them back. And I think that, you know, like when we talk about this marriage thing, there's a lot of people that they're on like a team. And I think one of the ways we know that we're in alignment is when we're not playing the them against us game. If I'm saying like, it's all about them and they're wrong and I am right, we're playing the them us game, and that's creating separation. But if I show up with unconditional love, I can understand and have compassion for this human that is so fearful of allowing someone to be gay in their midst because they've been taught how wrong that is and that it's evil. And I can have compassion for that and compassion for the place where they are. I can also see that it's not causing them joy. It's not helping assist with love, and it's not of a higher vibration. So I can observe that, but I don't need to hate them back. And I honestly don't feel like if we all pay attention, we'll realize that doesn't help us to heal anything. If we're hating each other because they're not doing it the way we think they should do it, instead love them. So here's the thing. When we show up in any situation, someone's hateful to me, Tanya, you suck. You think you're a healer? You suck as a healer. They're saying stuff. And I'm listening, I'm observing like, whew, what is this? observing. Okay, go into meditation, processing. And this is where meditation's so vital. We get quiet, we go into our innermost self, and we tune into higher self, the higher aspect of our awareness, and we process and we discern the energy. We come up with understanding, greater awareness. Now I know how to respond to the situation. And we'll eventually learn how to move in a moving meditation to where you don't even need to go lay down and close your eyes. You can just stay present 24/7, conscious and awake and aware everywhere you are, observing. And you don't have to take their hate personally. You can respond with love. So someone could be saying hateful things, and this happens to me. This has happened and I don't have that happen to me much, but when these times have happened, I speak truth to that person of what I'm observing going on in them. I tell them, you are love. I hope that you will remember that you are love and that you are light, that you are loved and supported. But I feel that this energy that you are projecting on me is not healthy, and I will not tolerate that in my sacred space. So I pull my energy away. I express my boundary. They choose what they need to choose from there. And they may still think I'm their enemy because that's what's going on in them. But I show up with love, and then I love myself. I don't go in and shame myself and go, oh, Tanya, you suck. Like, people are going to not trust you because there's people saying stuff. Like, what if they don't love you anymore? If my ego got triggered and I wasn't staying conscious, that would happen, because it's happened to me in the past where I go into that place of self-doubt, then I have to degrade myself and shame myself because someone thinks this. Or I become very defensive. I have to prove myself to all of them. And if we can keep ourselves more calm and centered, we just respond with love. If we have a negative thought, let's say the violent act is caused by yourself, because some of you are your own worst enemy. And so let's say one of you listening, you just really have been mean to yourself. Like, you look in the mirror and you see your body and like, oh, I hate my thighs. I hate my this. I hate my that. And then you're out with your friends and you're just like, oh, that woman's a bitch. I hate her. And you're just in a pretty crappy place, let's say. Because sometimes it happens. We choose repeatedly to focus on thoughts of low vibration, and we start to experience the reality of that lower vibrational process. So if that's happening, the moment you have awareness and you catch your thoughts saying, oh, you suck, you're so fat, catch your thoughts right then and just say, oh, I love you. We are getting better and more aware every day. I am going to treat you like my own best friend. I am so sorry that I've been saying those thoughts, and I am going to start loving myself. I'm going to make a commitment to show up with love. I'm going to make a commitment to take better care of you, and go and, like, I teach this in my workshops. I'll tell the people to look in a mirror. Like, when you're brushing your teeth, look in your mirror and really connect with your soul. Don't just shallowly, superficially brush your teeth and not even see yourself, or be looking in the mirror for whatever blemishes you have. But actually look in the mirror and connect with yourself, especially on days that you don't feel very confident and you don't feel much love. Maybe you're craving love from other people. I need a boyfriend, then I'd feel okay. Or, okay, I've got a boyfriend, now I need to have a baby, and the baby might love me, like, because I don't feel safe. Go and get to know yourself and connect with yourself. Show up with love. And when you catch yourself in those shameful thoughts, maybe you flipped out on your friend at work and you lost your shit because you were really stressed out. You regret that. You're in your car processing it. Go rectify it right away. Talk to your friend if you can and say, you know what, I am so sorry. You did not deserve that. You did not deserve for me to lash out at you. I am so sorry. I was really feeling stressed. I had a lot on my mind, and it was really not the aligned choice to vent and just project that on you. Please forgive me. And most people, if you are genuine, they're going to forgive you and be like, you know what, girl, it's cool. I've had those moments, but thank you so much for saying that. And then you love yourself through that. Instead of, this is where the ego will seduce us. A person lashes out at their coworker. They project all this anger. They go in their car, have consciousness hit them. Oh, I probably was a little rough on her. No, she's a bitch. She deserved it. Ego just came in. So when we have that awareness coming through saying, you know, maybe I was a little harsh and I could go and say, I'm sorry. And then we have to, justify it. I'm right. She's wrong. Ego. So if we can really catch that and we can have awareness, we can have a healthier experience in every part of our life. And when we can do that and honor ourselves, we love ourselves instead of, if I can't acknowledge my behavior hurt another, then I have to make them the enemy. And then when I'm conscious, moments of consciousness come in, I feel bad, and then I self-loathe, and I get heavier, and I start to hate myself. And this is not the direction we want to go. And as we're evolving, we're being guided to be the love. We're being guided to realize that we are light. And when we come lighter, when we talk about the word enlightenment means I'm lighter. Like I'm lighter in my energy. I am more of light. I am love in action. But if I'm not awake and aware and I'm unconscious in my behavior, I'm very heavy, angry, vengeful. There's no enlightenment there. It's heaviness. It's dense. It's painful. It creates a lot of suffering. So I'm going to take a pause here and see if anybody has any feedback or questions. And if you guys want to call in, I can do a live reading today for whoever wants to call. So any feedback?
There's something from Ron. And Ron says, what Tanya says about forgiveness and entering situation with love is how we handle our tense relational moments. We grow closer in each instance, and we have fewer and fewer tense moments the more we handle them in a space of love and kindness instead of judgment and ego. Makes a lot of sense.
Yes. And that is like Ron, in case any of you don't get it yet, he's my husband. And so, yeah, and Ron he's right in that, because we both came from relationships there was not really healthy communication. And when we found each other, I had done a lot of work on myself. He had done work on himself, and we came together and we made that a very important part of our relationship, that whatever happens, we're going to deal with it now. And we're not going to just hold that anger in and be quiet and play mind games and think they should figure it out. They should know why I'm mad. We're not going to do any of that, because in order to have a healthy relationship, we need to have clear communication. And if both of our agenda is love, we're going to do fine. If our agenda is about being right or wrong, we're going to have struggle. And so that's true. What he's saying is, we really, when we show up and something could happen, like there may be a situation that I don't understand his intention and how he says something. So I'll ask, what was your intention? Like, when the way you said that, like, it didn't feel very loving. And then he might have to have a minute to process that, like, oh, well, what? And there might be that moment of a defensive, I don't know about this, like, I think I'm fine. But as we process that, and we'll come and look in each other's eyes, and then he'll be like, baby, I am so sorry if you felt like there was anything, because my alignment is totally about loving you, and we'll kind of talk through it. And there might be times that something got triggered from my pain of my past, or times where something got triggered from his pain of his past. But when we show up together, we can work through that. And we don't go to bed angry. That is a really good rule. I mean, I don't even think of it as a rule. I think it's a great intention. If you can show up with your beloved and intend to have clarity of communication and be there for each other, even if you maybe aren't understanding what's going on with somebody, like they may have an emotional day. There was like a time where I was having, and I kind of talked about it here, right? A lot of just some women in the community just being straight up messed up to me. And I was like, what's happening? And I did take it personal at that time. And that's why what I'm talking about today, I have had to learn how to process this and not take things as personally. But there was a day I did, and I was laying on the bed and I was just crying. And Ron just came and laid by me, just held me, laid there, didn't say anything, and just was with me. And every now and then he would just be like, are you okay, baby? I'm so sorry you're hurting. But he was just holding space with me. And honestly, I feel like there's times and there's times I've done that for him. If he's hurting, I just hold him and say, oh, you're amazing, baby. I love you so much. And if we can show up for each other like that, it's beautiful. And we have a beautiful relationship. But before we could have that, I had to know on my own how to have that for myself. And he had to learn on his own as well how to have that for himself. And he says I helped him with that. But we've worked in that process. And